Good morning, everyone. It's good to be back with you. Thank you for being here this morning. I had a great trip over to visit Mom. It was nice to be with her, just sit and enjoy her company. Um, it doesn't get any better than that. So I'm grateful, absolutely grateful to have been able to spend time with her. We decided while I was out that we'll go back in about 3 weeks, spend a little more time with her. Debbie has an event happening and we'll just go together. So thanks for being patient and thanks for coming back to visit. And let's start off this morning with some breathing exercise. So, as we all know, it's breathe in through the nose, hold, breathe out through the mouth. And so, let's begin. In, hold, out. In, hold, out. Okay, everybody, come back when you can. Our last few sessions before I took a little break, um, we're looking at this booklet right here and going through this booklet, Treatment. And it was a great experience. I hope all y'all enjoyed that experience and are still getting benefit out of it. But moving forward, the intention is to continue that practice on a regular basis. And the reason to continue that practice is to eliminate the whole established consciousness that there is God over there somewhere and me here. The idea that there's God and me, that there's separation there, that there's dualism there, when in fact, that is not the case. The case is God is everywhere, all the time, everything, all the time, a single manifestation God in multiple little sparks or parts or drops or facets, yet all one experiencing multiple sensations. A friend of mine gave me a great book, and if you're looking for something fun to read, this is the book. It's focused around A Course in Miracles, and in the very beginning of it, it talks about A Course in Miracles is not a dualistic system, and it is not just non-dualistic. It's purely non-dualistic. That is why the Course says, be vigilant only for God and His kingdom. And if you remember, each of our example treatments, each of our example reprogramming techniques states the same level of consciousness. There is only one mind, God, infinite good, infinite love, infinite truth. So God is infinite good. God is infinite love. God is infinite truth simultaneously. This God mind rules and governs all. This mind is my mind now. There is no distinction between the two. Realigning our consciousness to embrace this non dualistic space of being is what aligns us with our divine consciousness. And this is where the pursuit of mastery comes through. Now, again, we realize that not every human being on the planet at this moment has made an agreement and is committed to pursuing a level of mastery in this period of life. That's an important understanding to arrive at. Realizing, of course, that wherever those individual sparkles of God, those individual facets of the great huge diamond of God, are all in exactly the space that is appropriate for each of those sparkles to exist in. So if we're looking at a diamond that fits right here in my hand, if we're looking at it and the sun is shining from behind us, then what's going to show are the facets. They're going to sparkle in this particular space. Right here, the sun is coming from behind me. It's shining on these particular facets, and these particular facets are going to glisten for these two eyes. Yet, if one is on the other side of this diamond and the sun is behind us, those glistening sparkles off of the facets will not be visible. That doesn't mean they don't exist. It simply means that they are not visible. And the understanding that all is the presence of God wherever it is, and that I am part of all is, and therefore I am the presence of God wherever I am, empowers one to move forward into a space of understanding, into a space of acceptance, into a space of embrace of the divine consciousness. Emmett Fox says in one of his famous pamphlets, there is only consciousness. Consciousness is life. And our consciousness that is trained by this world, by our parents, by the structures of the government, by the structures of religion, by the structures of society, the training that goes into that consciousness is a dualistic training. It is a training of us and them. I am, and you am. When in fact, it's all one. It's all I am. The realization of this is the goal. And the point of doing the treatment, the practice, the reprogramming on a regular basis, daily, or multiple times daily, is so important. It really is a simple 15-minute process. It takes 15 minutes to go through the whole process. And that 15 minutes, upon practice, alters the state of consciousness to the point that the dualistic reality that we are taught, that we are trained for, that we are programmed for, begins to change. Anyone who's ever taken their computer over to or is a computer person knows that the wiping of a computer to bring it back to a basic starting point is a practice that takes application and time. It's not just one button push and it's all good. It takes looking at each line of code and realizing whether that line of code is applicable and whether or not that line of code is damaged or whether that line of code can be deleted or that line of code is part of what we are empowering to continue on. Our minds are the same way. The understanding that we as human beings can basically not create anything that doesn't already exist. We simply just refine and bring into the material world representations of all that really is. Because there is not the computer and Paul. It is all one thing. There is no separation. So in reality, the computer is just an example of how the mind and consciousness is put together and how we can own responsibility for reprogramming that state of consciousness, for changing our perspective on how this all goes together, and realize that nothing is doing anything to me. Nothing. Not the people around me, not the conditions of my reality, not the car when it won't start, not God. It is not being done to me. It is being done with me, through me, as me. And again, this particular choice is not necessarily for everyone. This particular choice of seeing the world I am present to and choosing to experience and be present to something different requires total commitment. One must be willing to stop oneself in mid sentence and go, this no longer works. This no longer expresses that I am. I will delete this. I will delete this line of code from the program. And it'll pop up from time to time, and basically it needs to be highlighted and deleted. Highlighted and deleted. In another language, it's called deny the fear, affirm the belief, affirm the knowing. For me today, it is affirm the knowing. There is a knowingness about the presence of consciousness that I have trained myself to observe. And I can see it multiple times in multiple ways every single day. This comes really from the reprogramming of my mind to get to a place where I can perceive the oneness and let go of or release the duality. It's a matter of choice. It's a matter of conscious action. And our little booklet is a practice that helps us to move towards that space. There were days and weeks where I recited this little booklet with not being conscious of all of what was being said, or what's going on in my head is this is bogus, and I just kept doing it, just kept repeating it. And as time went by, I began to see it. I began to see what it's saying as so. I began to accept it and to embrace it and to realize that this is who I am. This is what's going on. Treatment for prosperity. God is my unfailing, permanent, and perfect supply. I do not work for a living. I work for the glory of God and the good of my fellow man and woman and child and human. There is no lack, no limitation. Divine mind and its perfect ideas sustain me in all ways. I live in abundance, I rejoice in plenty, and I am prosperous in all my ways. Goddesses, money is mine to use for good, and I use it now with pleasure and wisdom. Reciting that aspect of our little booklet in times of doubt, in times of fear, in times of money confusion, recenters me into the knowingness that all is well, that all is well, and that the next appropriate station will manifest, and the next appropriate action will be present. And from this, I can move forward with confidence and understand. The pursuit of mastery, the pursuit of knowingness, the pursuit of release, the pursuit of serenity, the pursuit of peace requires the action that allows the presence of those statements to be here now. And the primary aspect of the whole principle is to embrace all as one. Embracing all as one allows for all else to become obvious. Bob Ram Dass said, "Be here now." Here, there's only one. I love you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Your most valuable commodity is your time. And to know that you've chosen to share it here with me and to allow me to share with you that which consciousness provides for me is a gift beyond compare. I acknowledge you as the presence of God wherever you are. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.